Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to what is rapidly... Get right there. What is rapidly becoming one of my favorite series within a series. It's a quick view, but it's not because you can't have it anymore. It's the rear view. Why do we rear view? Because we can. People send us things in to test, and we either put them to work or we send them back to the people that sent them. It is the circle of crawling realized. People are like, hey, do you want to test the ProLine Hammer in G8 that you can't have anymore? I go, yes, I would. It's basically the size of a 1.9 rupture, roughly, maybe a little smaller. They call it 2.25 by 493. We're going to test that. G8, the dot looks very deep, like almost red now. I thought that red was their call for, what, M3, pre-G8? They claim to be G8 hammers. I haven't researched it enough. You know what they are? They're hammers. You know what they have in them? Milk bread foams. Absolute milk bread foams. Are they as milk bread foamy as what we tested in the chisels? It feels that there's a tiny bit more, like it comes back a little bit quicker. But we are talking about a tire that is a good bit shorter. These were ridiculous. The hope is that these are equally ridiculous. Honestly, I had been hoping that they were just a hair smaller and we could have put them on baseline and tested them as class 2s. But class 2 is 475. So let's see how close they are. That looks like a 123, which is really just over 4 3/4. We'll do the press down. So when these were youths, they were probably right up just under 130, which would be right about 5 inches exactly. We are gonna definitely get some static bag out of these. They say 2.25 wide. These are 52, which is, yeah, I mean, I'll call it. That's like 2 1/16. Yeah, it's close enough. If we did the, right about there. There you go. There's 2 1/4. So yeah, good on you. Brands of yore, and by that I do include brands that exist today, but also existed then. Things were done differently. Do I expect different? Even if these are indeed actually M3 and not G8, do I expect a performance not typically extracted from ProLine tires of today? 100%. Absolutely. I don't know, but it's my anticipation. Also, this guy at just under 5 inches now, in that, like, let's call him around 485 is probably where he's going to sit. In around a 485, yes, there is a little bit of pooch out at the bottom. Is that potentially perfect for a 2.2 Capra width portal? This is basically LP 2.2 before LP 2.2 was cool. So we're still going to have a ton of ground clearance under this guy, but it's going to help the CG of a guy that doesn't need CG help. So very interested, to say the least. They do look comically small. They basically look like class 1s on this guy. Look how small they are. But I don't think that we're going to see any real performance negatives from this height, because this guy, he's got the amount of scratches on his pumpkins and stuff that you would expect for something that has hundreds of hours on it, and he doesn't really have that much wheel time, so he doesn't really, like, his links are largely unmolested. He has no marks on his tie rod. Yeah, he has an excess of clearance, if anything. So what I'm going to be trying to focus on, we're running it through the standard tire test protocol. I'm going to be trying to look at, is there an improvement, basically, in that shortness? Because we kind of have a tire that he's decided on for him. We used to have a tire that we thought he was decided on, but then he gets to test all these fantastic tires that cannot be had anymore. And we have more options just flowing out. And I don't know. Would the Moabs take over? I don't know. I want everything to be good, but the reality is not everything is. His radio's on. We can do the music. Ready? Like I say, if you can tell what song that was, you're better than I, because I know what song it is, and it doesn't really sound like the song. Hey, I did my best. I don't know how music works. What I do know, to some degree, is how the rocks work. What I don't know, again, we go back to not knowing, is how these are going to do. But I do know a way to find out. So while I continue to contend that this is the closest we've gotten to a tire that looks like a Class 1, I'll know right now. Just pull like a train. See, right across here. I'm going to steady state it. Increase in stability? Question mark. Answer, yes. I don't know why I came so slow around that sweep. Pivot. We want to cut it back. We want to cut it back right there. We go up and over. Now, these are fresh mounted. I don't know how much that milk bread is going to get into a better cooperation with the tire. It's not the pull level of the chisel. Not yet. Not yet. It's close, but the chisel was something else. Right there, see these little, I can execute these little fallbacks. But nevertheless, I mean, let's be real here. It's so close. I mean, the steering for a single stage, particularly with how soft that insert is really quite good. These are definitely a tire back from the era of where inserts mean something. Still a little hot. There we go. It's a 27% no-hander. We just give it one of these. We give it the cruise control go. Kind of see where it wants to go. Had to give it a little steering help to get off that hang up over there. Let's come around now. Now, if I give it a little bit of assistance, you're back on the 27. Give it a little bit right there. There we go. Okay. Now we want to cut this side right here. Yeah. It's the 2.2 big rock buggy Class 1. If it is indeed G8, and that is correct, it is just ever so slightly down in traction from the chisel. I would call this a 9 point, well, I want to say 9.7. Do I want to say 9.7? We'll come right here. We can judge harshly. Comes across, get a little bit over more, then we cut back right there. Get that tire up over the top. That's a bit more shuttle than I would like, but no, that's a 9.7 effort. That's absolutely so far above adequate that it makes us feel bad about new tires again. We come right back to there. Just got me to thinking in that move there. Moving the cameras, that is. Are we gonna see the lowest performing old one in this, like, Slick Rock is often a determiner. It will kind of gives you an idea of where a tire is going to score overall. Oh, that's very bright and purple. It's right in my eye holes. And if and whenever we find that discontinued tire that does the oof, heavy on the air quotes, worst, because this tire is going to score, from what I've seen, I don't think it's going to absolutely flounder under wet. From what I've seen so far, we're between 97 and 98, if I was pre-guessing. High 97s probably. So, you know, megalithic range. Like in the, let me see this cut. Yeah, I have definitely seen sharper. So we are suffering a little bit of the milk bread. But that side lug though. Oh, but that side lug though. And the little class 1 action keeps that front end down. It doesn't have the precision of some tires. It's a little, well, it's fair, man. Man, you know what it is, man? It's fair. If you're comparing a hammer and a chisel, which would you consider to be more precise? Well, it's the chisel, right? You carve with a chisel. A hammer, you blast. So everything's working out the way you'd think it would. At this point, I'm honestly hoping for an easy math. If we do straight 9.7s, I'm not mad. What are we gonna get on that? Come on. Yeah. If I could, I'd go 9.75 on that, but we don't go. We don't go hundredths. Let's see if we get the stability for the dummy turn. Not just the stability for the dummy turn. I don't think it lifted a tire. It's big, wide 2.2 class 1 action. This is class, I don't know what to call it. It's a class 3 because it's bigger than 4.75. Oh, that was solid. It's such low throttle input. That was absolutely solid. Oh man. We'll just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Unless I announce otherwise, it's a 9.7 across. So we're looking at a 97.0 right now, but that was definitely a 9.8 level kind of performance right up there through the middle. How about right through here? Do we get any slip action? That's diff. Get that diff off of there. There you go. So I guess that little bit of height, it is, no pun intended, impactful because we kind of pushed a pumpkin in there. Yeah, I'd go 9.8 here. So 2 9.7s and a 9.8. We'll just run the tally because I have the board and I carried the dry erase pen with me. I put it in my pocket and for some reason I took it out of my pocket and it's all the way back in the shed and I don't want to walk and go get it. So you're gonna have to keep score with me. I almost drove the wrong way because despite having done the class 3 protocol more than a couple times, I still sometimes forget the order. What I need is a second board because I just write the filler obstacles in. Like we don't go to the beast on class 3s, we go to here instead. We don't go to staircase on the class 2s because we don't do a surface transition test on class 3s generally. Come on. They still look so short to me. I'm trying the lowest level of throttle input here. Ramping it up. Because ramping it up, if you catch, you're coming back down upside down. There's a spot right there that rear wants to catch. Usually that much steering input is dangerous. Okay, catch a little of it. Catch a little of it. Get that driver front on there. Okay. More of that class 1. I'm going to try to hook the top here. I can't quite keep enough weight on it, I don't think. Maybe. Oh, yes, we can. 9.8. Oh, and that lower sidewall height, that lower height. Look at that on the descent. Oh, man. I want to give it a 10th. Okay. This is just bonus stuff. It was so good up there, that middle cut. Are we going to do an out of sight? Out of sight, go out of your mind? More fence side, not too much fence side. No, you cut back too far. Right there, don't cut. Don't cut so much. There. You join where the elite meet. Oh, that's real good. That lower height right there. Moments that I've been able to feel it. Oh, we're going back over, but it doesn't go back over because we've got a 338 wheelbase on one side and a 340 wheelbase on the other. The cage is bent, see, mind you, see? And now we have a tire that relative to what they ordinarily run, we're typically sending this guy out here shod in 5.25 and up to 5.4s, 5.75s. There is an advantage to a tire that's about 4.8 inches tall, but still has that meaty width and the sidewall. Look at, oh. Wolverine has this thing where he likes to make me look like a jerk. So I expect quick action here. We're wide, we're low, we've got grip. Are we even gonna lift? Were we even on a side hill? Like, I can't tell. I know the camera removes dimension from this. Right where he is, right here on the side hill, that is 45 degrees. That is a 100% slope. So for every, if you're moving forward on it a foot, you'd be going up a foot. I mean, you can tell when he gets here on the side hill. Look at the length of the side hill. It's his length, and it increases double his height. And when we come over the, when we come over the transitional hump here on entry, there's a fall off point. We come over right here, and a high entry is a bad entry because now the low side tire is at like 60 degrees and the high side tire is on a ledge that it's going to fall off of right there. The tire goes completely weightless there for a moment. Now we're relying on the front a lot. But because we have that low sidewall height, LP, before LP was cool, we'll go in super deep right here. Ordinarily have to rely on grip and slip. There was never even an instant where I felt like that tire was giving way there. That is a 9.9 level on the side hill. This is a side hill performance for the ages, and it is a side hill performance that I don't know if it will be repeated either in quick views or rear views, because this is an oddball. I mean, this is a cougar level of performance here because, like, just get dumb. Get dumb. It just doesn't even matter because they act so low, because relative to his width and length, they are very low. This is a super low profile tire for a rig of this dimensions. And we net nothing but benefit from that. So if I'm out of breath, it's my own fault because I'm an idiot and I had to run back and get the stupid pen. Maybe, I don't know. Here's an idea. Amazon exists. Maybe, we're getting class 1 right here. There we go. Maybe buy more than one pen. What? What? I mean, eventually all of the pens will end up in one location. It's like it's tape measure rule. Do you own 10 tape measures? All 10 tape measures will eventually end up in the same place because you will keep taking them and leaving them in there, and taking them and leaving them there. I have a tape measure at every station in my workshop. There's a tape measure at the table saw, there's a tape measure at the chop saw, there's a tape measure by the drill presses. If you go to all of those locations right now, I guarantee you at least one of them does not have a tape measure. I also have like 5 digital calipers. And I guarantee you can go to a location that should have a digital caliper like the machine lathe, and it won't be there. It'll be somewhere else. So that is where I am with pens. Had to go back and get the pen. We have 2 9.7s, 2 9.8s, and 1 9.9. I also realized that was very nice. I also realized I'm not really paying attention here as close as I should be. Whee! Yeah, the stability level, not filthy, but gross. See, does this have enough to stay in on a single stage? Oh, pretty big slide down right there, but no, I don't know. Stability level may be filthy. Getting some real low RPM there. We are pretty wide. Yeah. Okay, I need to come through here one more time because, confessedly, I wasn't paying close enough attention, even though they're very low, relatively speaking. Yep. How tight was this through? Do we get the full pirouette? Yeah, we do. We come down. Absolute, like the rear end wanted to lift, could not lift. We come in relatively tight right here. This is the test of positionability and maneuverability. Oh, what I didn't do was this one. That was balletic. Little rock bouncer action. Come up tight on this side. Absolutely zero lack of traction there. Absolute zero. So for a tire that was a fun metal rending noise that we had right there. I'm gonna set this down and write it down. That is another 9.8. That's a 9.8 here at Oblivion for sure, for sure. All right. Where are we going? Oh, right. Okay. I hope I'm not forgetting anything. Every time I do this, I feel like I'm forgetting a station. You gotta really make that card. It's gotta be in order. I'm bouncing around too much. Wants it. There it is. Little fish hook there. Come back. Cut back there. Got a little wide. Got a little wide. That is extreme alpha level stuff if you can get back through this. Nah, it doesn't have the height there. I think it's definitely got the grip to get this on a normal pull. Get right there and then back, there and then back, there and then back. It's not that easy. It's not that easy with this guy. We've had other tires that will just carve that. Can he redeem himself? Can he redemption himself? He's so much easier to wheels. That's a somewhat intangible point. Straight center cut. Does he still have enough to pull belly over? It basically shuttles him into the left-hander, the right-hander. Yeah, I can't quite get a center cut. That was almost a center cut. That's a 9.7. That's a 9.7 there. See what the bump looks like. Well, that was good. We had a little bit of brrrp and then right up. Nice. Exactly what you want. Very good. Oh, yep. Donkey? Not really. Shooty. Not out of shape. Doesn't get wild when it lands. We have some small amount of drop back, but it's usually clamping in pretty good. We get a little whoop right there on the edge, Very good on the bump. I'd be generous. I would go 9.7 at Daphne's is the 9.7 at Daphne's. I would go 9.8. Yeah, I'd go 9.8 there. Oh, this card is brutal. 2 stops remaining on our little tour. And there's a reason I try to position this one now when I'm running these last right before wet. Because this is a real make or break here. Hans Booby, I'm your white knight. Oh, that was, okay. All right, we got to pause in the middle so he might get a second shot at this. That cutback right there, he was getting shuttled too far left. Driver front caught and just pushed him back over. That does not usually happen. Bad entry into here tends to turn into bad line. Oh, he's acting real wide here. Okay, stayed inside. Ooh, if we don't get a rear end swing here. Oh, yeah. Get that across. Boop. Keeps falling to wheels. Keeps falling to wheels. All right, let's see if I can better the entry. So more across this side. There we go. More of a carve. Now you see we're high side on there. Now the rear tire's got more grab. So is it going to push? Oh, that just holds. That is grippy action. Same thing there. Come across. Okay. Give him the low cut. Are we tall enough to pull over? Oh, get up. Get up. Oh, that was an extremely valiant effort. That right there is the, are we going to bump you another 10th? And it's, I mean, why would we? Because you don't need that straight pull to get a 9.9. So that's another 9.9, because if you get your entry correct, it's done. If you get your entry kind of wrong, you can still get it clean through. For a tire that ran a 9.7, and I thought between 9.7 and 9.8, looking at the numbers, we're low 9.8s instead. All we need is for these guys to show me something good on the wet. There are 3 assaults to the wet corridor here. We've got, we'll show you dry. Easy side right here. This side is the easiest one because it doesn't largely involve that rock that's right under the driver rear. Then you've got a center cut, which you can kind of come in between this notch right here, position over this way, and then your front end is far enough forward that you've got places to bite to pull the rear end up over. Then we've got this approach right here, which is where we split the difference and we come right across the top of this guy, right there. Now what happens there is you might have seen a little give. We saw a little bit of spin from driver front. You get an in between the wheelbase condition because there's I'll try to point. There's this rock right here, that gets the front tire, and the rear tire is right about here, and they're both just spinning on slick rocks. So you get to find out. You get to find out, does one end have enough grip to pull the other when it doesn't look like that, but instead looks like this? The answer is more often than not, like, the list of tires that do better in wet than dry is really short. G8 tends to be consistent in the wet. We go soft side first. I don't know, is it wet? Is it wet or did we just clean it off? I can't really tell. We come around. Now we'll go middle cut. We'll go right through here, right through the middle. Yep, solid. Absolutely solid. We'll slide to the belly. And then we go hard side. Easier. Yeah, we just cleaned it off. Rock's clean now. They don't care that it's wet. So that will net us a score. We've got a final. We've got a score. But it does look thirsty out there. It looks real thirsty. So this won't take any points away. If anything, this is going to add a little bit more. Like there it is. I was looking for this right there. See the water trickle down? That little trickle down, that's what I was looking for. That means that we have enough, we've now wetted the surface. Straight to the hard one. Absolutely effortless. More grip than it had exhibited on the straight dry up slick rock the first time. Yeah. Tires are wet across the surface of the lug now. Yeah, these are really strong in wet. These are strong enough in wet that I might classify it as, I think the hammer outdoes the chisel in the wet. So the hammer, yeah, I had to recheck the card. The hammer ends the day at a 98.2, having received nothing lower than a 97, and obviously nothing higher than a 99, 9.9. So 9.7 and 9.9. That means a good, consistent tire. It did not have anything glaringly weak about it. 98.2 is really solid. And I have, so the 9.7s, which there were 2, the Climate Daphnes and Staircase, and I'm 100% on them. I'm with it. As these are configured right here, those were 9.7 efforts. 9.8s, we bumped Slick Rock from a 9.7 to a 9.8 because I think it might have been surface condition just a little bit. Not temperature, but surface condition. Because I gave it a 9.8 on wet, and I think it was just that like the tires are too fresh, the relationship between them and the insert. Anyway, we bumped them a 10th, which took them from a 98.1 to a 98.2. So 9.8s at Slick Rock, Daphne's, Mount Tumbledore, Oblivion, the bump test, and lastly here a wet. And it garnered its pair of 9.9s at Side Hill and at Hans, because that Side Hill, effortless. Hans is a bit of a side hill gate. It's a little bit of a messy boy, and one of the best performances in spite of the overall width of this guy on Capra axles. On those are 23 millimeter hex adapters on those wheels. He's sitting wide, trends to the stability, but doesn't detract from the maneuverability that allows him to get through gates. Did really well on wet. 98.2 for yet another tire you cannot have, the ProLine Hammer in G8. But for sure a tire that I go, where would I put that? What am I running that on? I have no idea. But they did really well. Basically, on the protocol sheet, if you're above 98, that's in the elites. I wanted average to be about 95. I feel like the Canyon average, because we have higher expectations, is kind of falling around a 96. Where like a 94, I often say 93 is the do not go below line. There's really no point in going below a 93. So we really have like a half a point of a range. So I mean, you can multiply it all by 10, and then it'll seem like a bigger of a gap. Does it though? So that would be between a 930 and a 980. It really isn't. It's an arbitrary scoring schedule, sort of. There is definitely interpolation and extrapolation going on at every time. But I am, and when we get to the end of it, I will see a number and I will either furrow the brow or I will go, yeah, that seems about right. Because I let the test do the talking. My memory is what allows that to happen, because I don't remember the last tire test before this one. I can't compare tires against each other. That's why I have 2 rigs that are identical, so that I can test them side by side. Because if you give me even a day, hours, if it's 4 hours between one tire test and the other, I don't remember the other one. I don't remember where a tire excelled. This one I might remember that side hill performance, because that was Panther Cougar level. 9.9 means you're doing something Panther Cougar level. And this did that on Hans and the side hill. ProLine Hammer G8. Remember when G8 was good? Remember when they cared? Remember the pre-Horizon days? You're looking at it. Stuff was better, man. Stuff was better. It ain't nostalgia. The glasses, they are not rose-tinted. It's just the fact that G8 was something different than G8 is now. And the foam that goes in the tires is 1,000% different than what we get now. Those tires are old. Those foams are old. They don't care. They just work better than what we get now. It's a crying shame. But we get what we get, and we can get upset. There's just nothing we can do about it. There is something I can do, which is thank you so very much for watching. I invite you to turn in for whatever we have next. List any questions, comments, or concerns in the comments below. And between now and then, please one and all do your very best. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you again here from the canyon with some other tire of yore, or tire of now, or some other random shenanigans. I don't know. We don't know till we know, and you know at about the same time as me. ProLine Hammer. It's like a G8. It's like a chisel, but it's not. It's like a G8, but it's not. At least not the G8 of now. It's pretty good. Hope your day is pretty good. We'll see you next time.